friends, welcome to Tori Talks TV. Welcome to our review of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2! Woo, here we go, we're just getting closer and closer to the end. So, Episode 2's title is called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That's exciting.
It is exciting.
What does it mean? Okay, let's start off by talking about, now we know Jaime has arrived in Winterfell. I don't know how warm the welcome is.
Another tense scene in the Great Hall. I tell you, the Great Hall,
right.
It's like some real tense things happening. So he's like standing before Dany and Sansa and like all the important people. Yeah. And Dany is like, yeah, we used to talk about what we do to you. I mean, he killed her dad.
That's the Kingslayer. That's her dad.
Her dad.
Dad's killer. Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't just like
take him out. Grey Worm. Take him out.
So one of the most moving scenes so far, though, is when Brienne speaks up for him.
Oh my gosh, she like vouches for him.
She saved his life.
Yeah.
And because Sansa trusts Brienne, Jaime is allowed to stay.
Because basically, he saved Brienne, therefore Brienne could save Sansa.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Would be. And I don't know if Sansa ever knew that Jaime made a promise to Catelyn.
Oh.
Oathkeeper.
Yes, exactly. So they always, whenever Brienne and Jaime are together, there's just like this like, moment. You know, you look at them.
It's true.
Just whatever their relationship is, to be determined, is just sweet.
Yes.
And loyal.
Jaime also brings the news that Cersei has no plan to send the Lannister army. Duh. Sansa's
mean, nobody was surprised. I mean, I know I wasn't.
Was surprised.
Maybe Tyrion's the only person,
Poor
Tyrion. On or off screen that was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's she's kind of like, come on, man, I trusted you.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. I just want to talk about this like moment with Arya and Gendry because you know they're buds, right?
They're buddies.
They go way back.
Yeah.
Been through a lot together.
I mean, maybe she had like a little crush on him, but she's just a little girl.
I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, infatuation.
Yes.
For him or whatever, but. Yeah, she kind of shows off like her skills.
Yeah, and she like wants him to make this like weapon. She has it
specific.
Like, yes, very specific.
Yes,
it's like a detachable.
It's like drawn out.
Yes,
so it's like
she knows what she wants.
It could be one thing, or you could split it in half, and it's two
things.
She's got something going on. Something's cooking in her mind.
Convertible weapon.
Convertible, exactly. And he's like, all right, sure, whatever. That's what he does. Yes. Right. So then now let's talk about Jaime and Bran because this is like dun dun dun. Okay, they meet again.
Do you remember how cute Bran was when he was pushed out that window? Though he was so tiny,
like literally, he was a little itty bitty.
Yeah. And so way back then, That's
the last time they saw each other. Basically, was when he pushed him out the window. The things we do for love.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we're all like. How's this gonna go down, right?
And he's like, why didn't you tell... Jaime's like, why didn't you tell anybody? Like, obviously, if people knew that Jaime pushed Bran out the window, he'd be dead. Yeah. And he's like, well, there's no point in telling people. Like, we are who we are because of what you did.
And if I was to tell them, then they're not gonna want you to fight with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And very good, Bran. Good job. Very, I don't know.
Three-eyed raven of you.
Three-eyed raven. Very classy. Very wise of you. Yeah, you got class. That's for sure. So that was cool, and I totally understood that. I wasn't even like, no! Yes. Get him in trouble, and then, I appreciated it. Because Jaime has turned me. I was anti-Jaime for a long time, but slowly, he's working his way to the good side. Yes. Slowly, for me. Yes. I mean, he's fighting for Winterfell, for the Starks. So, that's good. Speaking of Jaime, this is really cute too. Jaime decides that he, well, obviously he's gonna fight for them, right? Yes. He's gonna fight for Winterfell.
So he goes where Brienne is like training her squad,
and Podrick's there.
Yeah, and she's like training them, and he's just like talking to her, and she's like, "What's your problem? Like, why are you not insulting me? Like, we've never had a conversation where you're not like saying something rude to me." And he's like,
"That's our dynamic."
Yeah, and he's like, he's clearly different. And so he's like, I'm not the fighter I used to be, but I want to fight under you. Aww,
he wants to fight under her. Probably because he only has one good hand. But he also trusts her and believes her to be the great fighter that she is. Yes. Yeah. Huge moment, by the way. Yes, that was underrated. Very, very huge. Yes. So Now, Jorah...
I love this scene.
Jorah is talking to Dany, and because Dany's like, what is up with Tyrion? Like, I trusted him, and he trusted his sister, and blah, blah, blah. And Jorah's like, be cool, Dany, be cool. Like, he's basically defending him to her, which he, like, stole his job.
Like, he would have maybe been the hand of the queen.
Right.
If she didn't send him away. Wait, you still sent him away, though. A couple times.
Yeah. Just fickle.
Yes, okay, but let's forget about that part.
Yeah. But
I named the hand when you were gone when I sent you away to heal yourself.
Right,
not to what's the word?
Exile.
Yeah.
Yes. So
okay.
He's like he's being the bigger man, you know. He's like just bear with him.
He has a great mind.
Yes.
He made some errors in judgment about his family, but yes.
But you still need him, Tyrion. Yeah.
Yes.
So then he's also trying to advise her to talk to Sansa. Make nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's make this work. It has to.
Jorah is wise.
Yeah, Jorah the wise.
He is wise.
Yes.
And then that scene where Dany talks to Sansa, though.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so they're gonna make an effort to, like, get along. It was kind of a nice moment. She, like, Dany puts her hand on Sansa's hand, and they talk, and maybe they are gonna be, like, sisterly.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not, because then Sansa's like, yeah, but what about the North? But, like, what about the North? And Dany's like,
What do you mean?
What now?
I thought we were cool.
Yeah, so, okay. So then let me just take
I want to take a moment to say I'm very proud of Sansa.
Yes.
For everything, the way she reacted, and the fact that she said, what about the North? Like, you know what I mean? It can be so easy to be like, do what you gotta do. It's fine. But she's like, no. She's standing up for herself and her people in the North. Yeah.
Yes.
I was so proud of her.
Yes.
She's come a long way.
I'm, like, interested to know, like, what would be a solution that would be amenable to both of them, because obviously Sansa thinks she is the North. She wants the North to be kind of independent.
Right. Yeah.
And Dany's like,
I know, because she's got other plans, basically, yeah. So,
she's like, wait, what?
We tried, but we failed with that whole thing. Yes. But, good effort. So, speaking of Sansa, I want to say this is so cute. So, Theon, he returns to Winterfell.
Yes.
And they're like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I want to fight for you guys. I want to fight for Winterfell. And Sansa runs up to him and gives him this big hug. Yeah. It was like sweet and brotherly.
It was very...
It was... but she just... like, the look on her face when she saw him was like... I mean, he saved her life.
He saved her life.
Yes.
Yeah. And they grew up together.
Exactly.
And it's like he came home.
It's like comforting. Yeah, it was very sweet.
And I've been resisting, like, Theon for a long time because I'm
really
mad at him.
Highs and lows with that guy.
I know. Mostly low.
Yeah,
but I'm like getting there with this.
He saved his sister last episode. He wants to fight for Winterfell.
Be it better late than never, I guess.
Yeah.
He's trying hard.
Okay, let's just stay on this path, Theon. Be good.
Yes.
So, so everybody's starting to prepare, obviously, for this big battle. So we got to figure out who's going to stay and fight and who's going to go down to the crypt. And, it's not like they're hiding. It's just that they don't have the skills to fight, right?
Right.
So...
not everyone can fight because who's going to take care of, like, the women and the children.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so good to see Gilly.
Oh, sweet Gilly. Yeah, so Gilly's rounding up the people that she's going to be, have down there with her in the crypt. And there's Sir Davos, and he's, like, feeding people food. And one of my favorite scenes also is this cute little girl. She's so tiny. She's, like, one of the youngest little girls there. And she's like, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? You can be down in the crypts with everybody else. And she's like, no, I want to fight. Yeah. I'm strong. My dad was a fighter. I want to do that. And then Gilly's so sweet. And she's like, well, it's a good thing you'll be down in the crypts defending us.
Well, she's like, I'm safer with you defending. I thought that was really
Davos
good.
and little girls, man.
I know.
I
and
think
she has
like a soft spot.
Something on her face, like it reminded him of Cherie.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Cute moment. So, super exciting scene is when Ed and Tormund and friends arrive to Winterfell. Yes. More reunions! Yay! That was so cute when Jon sees Ed and he's like running to him like, oh my gosh! And then Tormund just like tackles him. And he's like, hey man! I missed you. Oh, he's so funny, Tormund.
Oh, and then he also is just like, is the big woman still here?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. He was like, okay, it's nice to see you, but really, though, is the big woman still here? Yeah. That was so funny. And again, that's our comic relief, right? Just lighten it up. I love him so much. He's really evolved.
Yes.
He's a big, scary man. Now he's still big and scary, but sweet.
Playful.
Yeah, he's a gentle giant.
And fun. Yes.
Gentle
giant.
Gentle giant.
Gentle ginger giant.
Oh. New name for him. Yep. So... they're, you know, all discussing how this is all going to go down, because let's get back to the meat and potatoes of it all. The dead are coming.
Yes. There are serious things going on here. We need to strategize.
Right. So as they're doing that, they're saying basically, John's telling him, like, we have to go after the Night King. He's the one that turned all these people. He is the reason there's an army of the
Brand's
dead.
like, he's going to come after me. He's done it before, and I have his mark now, so he knows how to fight.
And he shows them, right.
So,
and then Sansa's like, we're not going to put you out there as bait. Are you kidding me? And then Theon's like, I'll protect him.
Aww.
Noble Theon. He's getting better and better for me. Yeah. For so it seems like that's the plan.
Yeah.
Nobody really objected to it. But because, you know, that's what else are they going to do? They need their strong fighters out there in the battlefield. Yes. So, okay, we got the plan. Here we go. So then there's a very memorable quote.
Oh, Sam. So,
yes.
Because Bran, right? He's like, okay, he's going to come after me. So why is Bran so important to this whole thing? Yeah. He's no longer Bran. He's the three-eyed raven.
Sure is.
He's the keeper of, like, all of the memories and, like, kind of future. He sees, like, future, past, and present at the same time. So the Night King doesn't want to just kill all the people. He needs to kill their memories as well. Like, the history, what makes them them. Otherwise, Bran will, like, you know, the more, like, he will tell people the stories and they will continue to exist.
It'll live on.
So he's the target.
Right.
So Sam says, that's what death is. Forgetting.
Oh, boy. Chilling. Yes.
Very
Sam
profound.
is very wise. Yeah.
He's wise.
For sure. Yeah. So, now, let's talk about how, Dany, when she's having this moment with Tyrion.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, I want to fight.
He was like, I was at the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah, I can do this.
And they're like, well, you also got your face cut in half.
So like, yeah, thanks, Ferris. But still, I survived.
Yes.
But Dany's like, no, I need you in the crypt. Like, what good are you to me if you're dead?
Yes.
Basically.
I need your mind.
Yeah, exactly. That is his strongest tool anyway. Skill is his mind, right? So, then Miss Sunday and Grey Worm.
Aww.
Let's talk about that cute couple.
They are so cute.
Because that's love. That's true love right there. Oh, so they had like a little like moment where, because you know, he's about to go off into battle. What's going to happen? Yeah. We don't know.
At this point, they have been told by like Ed and Tormund and everyone that like the dead are coming and they'll be here before the sun comes up. Like that's like a few hours away.
Like this is going to happen
So
soon.
we have these kind of like last moments, and Missandei and Grey Worm. Oh, Grey Worm.
Yeah.
They talk. He's like so sweet. He's like, well, after the wars are over, so this one and then the next one with Cersei against Cersei, I want to take you somewhere. And she's like, I want to go to North.
Oh, where she's from.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Go on a little vacation together. A much needed vacation.
Just the fact that they're like talking about a happy future though gives me bad feelings.
I know, because that's just how it goes in Game of Thrones.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So
yes.
Then so then we have Sam, John, and Ed, who you know they all started out at the Night's Watch together. That's how they became BFFs. They're talking about their journey. They're kind of reminiscing.
It was really nice. Yeah. Like so, that's all that's left is the three of them. They talk about who they've lost, and then at one point they say, "Now our watch begins."
Oh, that's big. It's a big moment.
Know. Yeah.
This is getting really serious, Doctors. I'm getting scared. Okay. So now then it's Jaime and Tyrion, and they're talking about
their golden lion days.
Yes.
You know, those glory days.
Everybody's reminiscing at this point because, you know, they're about to die is what they're thinking.
Where they were, like, young and, like, whoremongering. Is that the word?
Whoremongering? Yes. Sure.
Never really thought about what that meant, but I think I understand now. And then they kind of talk about the perils of self-betterment. Like, they both become better people through the history of this show. I think that was kind of like a nice brotherly moment. Yeah. Look where they are. They talk a lot, too, about how, like, at one point they were all, like, trying to take down the Starks, and here they are at Winterfell, like, defending.
How ironic.
Yeah, I know.
And they've always had each other's back. Yes. Jaime, no matter what Cersei said, Jaime's always had Tyrion's back, and vice versa. Yeah, so I'm glad that they ended up together. Yes. And then Brienne and Podrick joined them.
Oh my gosh!
Around the fire, you know, they're all trying to keep warm. It's cold over here.
It's cold over there, and they're about to go into battle in like a few hours. So let's just enjoy the warmth.
Right, and then we also have Davos and Tormund that joined them too. So it's just kind of like this little round table. Yeah. They're just like hanging out, like. Yeah. Shooting them, just like, you know, like
drinking the wine.
Yeah, just
my gosh.
Why not?
And then Tormund, they offer him a drink, and he's like, no. he's like got his
I got my own drink.
Horn full, and he drinks it and like pours down his face.
Yeah.
And then he tells the story,
story
of how like how he got like the name Giant's Bane. I guess? Yeah. It's like I don't really know what that means. And then he's like, well, so he slayed a giant.
Right.
And then while his wife was sleeping, he's only 10 years old. Tormund was 10.
Right.
He like climbs into her bed and she suckles him at her teat. And that's how he became so strong.
He drank the giant's breast milk. The word of this episode is...
For 3 months!
Breast
so basically, like, yeah, the first 3 months of his life, that's all he did was...
And that's why he's so big and strong.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I buy it.
Everyone's just like, oh. Like, their faces, they're like, okay.
Don't really know what to think of that.
I'm gonna take a drink now.
Yeah, but, you know, cool.
I forgot who said, but like, I think I will have a drink after all, after hearing that story. I think it was Davos.
I think it was Davos,
He's
too.
like, you know what? Yeah. Pour me one.
Right. So that's all happening, and it's kind of like that moment and that scene is really fun because it's kind of like things have slowed down a little bit as far as like the story progressing, but like it's good that they have this moment because the stuff's about to go down, and it's funny.
It is.
Thank you.
It is.
Again, let's keep it light right now because it's about to get super heavy.
Yes.
So, what's Arya doing?
So the Hound is like chilling on that parapet is what I want to call it, that little bridge.
Oh yeah.
Where Ned would stand and watch Arya shoot the arrows, you know, back in the day. So it's a famous like place to talk about serious things.
Yes.
He's just chilling, sitting, and Arya comes up and is like, "Hey, what are you doing up here?" Until they have a moment. It was like a nice moment.
They're friends. They're buddies.
Yeah.
It might be a love-hate relationship, but
now they're on the same side. I mean, they're about to go into battle together, so it was really kind of cool to see them together again.
They're very similar.
And then Beric comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Beric, you know, who the Hound was like, was he on your list? And she's like, for a short time.
Yes. I remember that,
so they have like a little moment, and then after a while, she just like walks away. And the Hound's like, where do you think you're going? She's like, I'm not going to spend my last moments with you two old poops.
And they're like, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she goes off and she's practicing her little, like, you know, bow and arrow, everything. She's her weaponry. Yeah. So then she is greeted by a friend, Gendry, who brings her the weapon that she requested.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how it escalated into something, but basically she's just like, what happened to you? And he's like, oh, the Melisandre, the red lady, she like put leeches on me. And then she's like, yeah, how was she? And he's like, what? What do you mean? And she's like, so how many women have you been with? And he's like, what's happening? I just wanted to give you your weapon.
And he's like, I'm not sure what to say here.
Yeah. And then basically like tells her how many women he's been with, and then she's like, great, now I want to know what that's like before I die tomorrow. Yeah. And he's like, okay.
I like how he's like, I didn't count. She's like, yeah, you did.
Yes, you did. All boys do. All of you men out there. Yeah, and then she basically takes him.
Yeah.
She doesn't even seduce him. It's just we're doing this.
Take off your pants.
She's like, I'm not the red woman. Take off your own pants.
What's so funny, too, is a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, can't believe Arya. We saw, like, a lot of her side boob. Like, they're just all offended that we've seen Arya. Like,
they still think of her as, like,
offended about her having sex as an 18-year-old than about her, like, taking people's faces off and, like, killing people.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with her.
They just can't bear it. Can't bear it. I didn't really care at all. I was like, oh, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to maybe die.
Don't die a virgin.
Yeah.
She's trying to experience life. Yeah, so I'm okay with it. So that happened. Yeah. And that's great.
Yes.
And then we get to go back to the fun little people around the fire.
Yes.
And, you know, they've been drinking.
They've been drinking.
They've been having fun.
Now everyone has been drinking.
Yeah. Good. Last little celebration.
Yeah, so, I forgot who, but somebody says, like, Sir Brienne. And she's like, I'm not a sir. I'm not a knight. Well, Tormund, because Tormund doesn't understand the way. He's like a wildling. He doesn't understand. So what do you mean you're not a knight? Why aren't you a knight? She's like, well, women can't be knights. You don't worry about it.
And then she's like, it's like tradition. And he's like, F tradition.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah.
And so then he was like, if I was a king, I'd knight you. And then Jaime's like, well, you don't need a king to knight someone.
You just need a knight.
Like, yeah. So he like.
So Jaime's a knight.
Oh my god, it was the most beautiful scene.
So Jaime knighted Brienne.
I was like crying.
I think
crying.
One of the most emotional scenes ever, especially of this season.
I was like in tears
because again, those two together, man.
and she was smiling.
She smiled for the first time
Brienne smiles.
I think that's the first time we've seen Brienne
that
smile.
That should have been the headline the next day. It maybe was
teary-eyed, and she smiled, and there was so much emotion coming out of that scene.
It was so beautiful.
And Jamie's like, there you go, girl.
That was better than sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
just when you think, you know,
I
have to follow Gendry and Arya sex scene.
No,
you're like, better. How can I follow it? Well, you did great.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even need to worry about that.
Exactly.
So
that's all they need.
She is now Sir Brienne of Tarth.
I love it.
The newest knight. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then Jorah and Lady Mormont are talking because, you know, they're related. They're cousins. Yeah. And he's like, I don't want you to fight. She's like, I'm gonna fight. Yeah. Like, that's what I am here for. And yeah, he's like, all right. Like, I mean, like, it's so funny because he's like big and she's little and she's like putting him in his place. Like, I didn't come here to like just sit down in the crypts with everybody. I'm gonna fight. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say another word about it.
You can't stop her.
Yeah.
If she wants to do something, I dare you to stop her.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Good luck. But she's like, anyway, thanks, cousin. Thanks anyway.
Yeah. And then, so after that, Sam gives Jorah his sword. His dad's sword.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I thought that was such a sweet scene too. Because Sam's like, I can't even hold it.
It's so heavy. So heavy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then at the end, Sam's like, I'll see you when it's through. And I'm like, I hope Sam's like, he's like, because he says things, and I'm like, oh, Sam knows things.
Yes.
This is awesome.
And everything's gonna be okay.
Gonna be fine.
Yeah. And then let's go back to our favorite people at the round table. Yes. They're just like hanging out talking, and then my beloved Podrick breaks out into song. Yeah. Jenny's song. And it is a beautiful song. It's like hauntingly beautiful. Yes. And as it's just like they're just sitting there, all of a sudden he starts singing. You're like, what you doing, man? But then it totally works with the way that they shot it, because like he's singing and then they're showing scenes. So then they show Sam lying about with Gilly and little Sam in between, and then they show Theon and Sansa, which I was like, did you guys just have a moment?
Yeah, they're like eating. It looked like they were like eating street food.
Yeah, she's like down there with him, wherever they are. Yeah. And then you see like Gendry and Arya in bed together, and it's all just like preparing you. It was
so feel good that it left me like so worried.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's how they play it.
Yes.
So, you know, then we see our final scene. Down in the crypt again, where Jon is looking at Lyanna Mormont's statue, right?
Yes, Lyanna Stark.
Or Lyanna Stark, excuse me. And yes, and he's obviously that's his mother, right? So then Dany's like, "Hey, babe, what's going on? What are you doing down here?" And, oh, I know Lyanna. Yeah, apparently my brother like raped her, and but that's weird because they said they said he was such a good guy, and then Jon's like, you know, actually they were in love, and then he's like, this is basically what he's been dodging the whole episode. Like, he does not, you know, he's not trying to tell her anything. And then, it's the moment that he has to explain that, you know, you're my aunt. Yeah. He didn't say that, but I think we could put, you know, two together.
She understands how these things work. And, like, so what's the first thing she says?
What's the first thing she says?
So you would be the heir to the Iron Throne. The rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
But, you know...
Not like, wait... You're my nephew. Wait, I love you. Wait, what does that mean for me and you?
I think she's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You can try to take the throne? Is really the first thing that came to her mind.
Yeah. But I'm sticking with what I said. I think she's okay.
And then the horn blows.
Let's break up this moment. Well, no, that's good. Saved by the horn. Exactly. Yeah. Because it was like, where do we go from here? But yeah, no, I mean, she didn't want to believe it at first too, but she did. She knows it's true, yeah. So with that, now it is time to go to battle. That must mean if the horn's blowing, that means that the dead, they're on their way.
They're here.
They're getting close.
Yeah.
Oh, hey everybody, hang on tight. The next episode review is going to be a bumpy one. I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck, everybody. Bye.